What is up, everybody? I am Taylor. Welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be my review of God of Tremors by Peter Milligan and Piotr Kowalski. I'm probably butchering the artist name, but it's what I do. I butcher names and I ramble on, people. A little bit of bookkeeping before I get into it. If you'd like to help support the channel, please buy some merchandise if you want. I have things for sale at taylorwinder.com. Link is in the bio below. Or in the description below, whatever. Description, bio, whatever the hell. The words down below the video, people. It's there. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Please be subscribed to my channel if you like this kind of content. It all helps. Keep watching. I'll review who won last week's book, which I don't have sitting in front of me, but it is the Umbrella Academy Dallas. I'll review who won that, or I'll reveal who won that. And yeah, this book, I'm actually not going to give this one away, because it was given to me as a gift to review. I'm going to hold on to it. I think that's kind of the proper thing to do, right? Is to hold on to it. I don't know, whatever. But I got this from Just Comics 1975 on Instagram. Give him a follow down below, or, whatever. Instagram, follow him. All that crap. Words are hard, people. Words are hard. But let's get into this, as I'm off to such a resoundingly mediocre start. This book is interesting. It's not really a trade paperback. It is a one-shot, a magazine format. Aftershock Comics. This is a variant cover by, who's this? Nino Camarati? I don't know. Again, I'm butchering the name. I dig this cover. It's a probably virgin variant, maybe. I don't even know if there was a non-virgin variant with this on it, but it's cool. Kind of horror reminiscent. Reminds me a lot of Charles Burns. Heavier-handed 1990s indie horror stuff if you're writing into that. And this book is a horror book. With a little bit of spoilers, I'm going to get into it. So spoilers from here on out. Aubrey, a teenager in 19th century England, starts experiencing tremors, or what is most likely epilepsy, right? And his father is a high-ranking priest, and he goes to a private school, and he's embarrassed by the son, and he's convinced that his son has demons in him. So he starts to beat the ever-loving hell out of him and trying to beat the demons out. And that's kind of the main plot of the book, is trying to get rid of the tremors through 19th century awful beating methods. And the real horror is man, people. The real horror is man. But there's a mother. His mother is more sympathetic and also tries to help, and there's consequences to her helping. There's a groundskeeper / assistant that also interferes with Aubrey's way. And Aubrey is just a miserable character from the get-go because of all these repeated beatings, because of the epilepsy, or because of the tremors. I don't want to put a name on it, because I don't think they ever really know what's going on, but they pretty much heavily allude to it being epilepsy. And he ends up running away from home and into the woods, and starts either hallucinating or seeing what he thinks is the God of Tremors, who's around before Christian gods, and wants him to use the tremors as worship or give the tremors to him. It's a little bit unclear in that regard, but it's not a crazy complex plot. It's just kind of a fairly straightforward with sort of a twist ending. It kind of reminds me a lot of older EC Comics horror books, or some of those old possibly pre-code horror. There's not a lot of graphic visual horror elements in this, but it just has that flair, that feeling to it of the sort of one and done morality lessons that you can learn from the old horror books, or mixing it with Grimm's fairy tales, the kind of darker, deeper Grimm's fairy tales, that kind of thing. There's just notes of that throughout this book. I think it's really well done for what it is. If you're fans of that kind of horror, I recommend picking this up. I think it's probably about $10. And there are a couple of variant covers. I don't know. I mean, it came out, I believe, last year, 2021. So it is probably still able to be found at your LCS, or you can probably order online and get it fairly reasonably at eBay with different, I'm not sure about this variant, but I'm sure you can pick it up. The art by Piotr Kowalski is also pretty solid. A little bit sketchy, kind of a light line. Reminds me a bit of Guy Davis in certain ways, who did the Saturday Mystery Theater back in the day. The figures aren't quite as cartoonized as some of the Guy Davis stuff, but it just kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And the coloring is kind of muted palette. I can't remember who did the coloring, but let me see if I can pull that up. Coloring, Brad Simpson, and then the lettering is by Simon Bolden. The lettering is inoffensive, and I mean that in the best way. If you don't notice the lettering, it's generally decent, and that's kind of how at least that's how I feel about it. I didn't notice the lettering. There's nothing glaring in it as far as bugging me about the lettering. It was very easy to read in that regard, in the lettering regards. The page composition, the panels go edge to edge on the page, and there's very, very thin gutters. So it's like more modern in that regard. There's not quite a whole lot of traditional. There's not page borders on this. I do think this sort of magazine size format helps this. I think I probably ended up breaking the binding a bit, opening it up just because of it was pretty fragile in the gluing stuff. And you can see it's pretty tightly done page wise, and this sort of like rusty gray palette for the daytime, the blues at night. And not traditionally gridded as far as like a 9-panel grid or anything like that, or a 6-panel grid. Probably closer to 6-panel with breakups and stuff. There's not a lot of full page splashes in here, but it is a solid like storytelling throughout. This is sort of Peter Milligan at his best. He's hit or miss for me. When he's on his game, I think he's really good, and then when he's not, he's just kind of, it feels like you're like reading through a fishbowl sometimes. This is not that. He's got a clear, concise, tightly written script on this, and I really kind of did dig this. It's one of my favorite little one and dones I've read, and one and dones are tricky for me because like I do think a good story should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and there is that in this. It's just kind of sometimes I think stories either need more room to breathe, which is where the miniseries come in. Or they really need to be really short, which is like where the like 8 or 10 page panel fits in. This maybe is a little bloated in that regard. Like there's enough repetition of the father being this awful horror figure that like you may not needed quite all of it, but I do think that that's really nitpicking. I don't think it's excessive in that regard, and I think it really does help establish the character as being this awful figure. And yeah, like the good horror movie, horror tropes, horror comics, everything else, characters get their comeuppance. There's not necessarily a super happy ending in some regards because of the nature of the problem or the nature of the story, but I think it's a solid one, and I am going to hold on to this because like it was a gift. It was very kind of Mike to give this to me, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. And like I said, give him a follow down below at Just Comics, or just click that link and go hit follow on his Instagram. I know he sells on eBay. You can buy stuff from him on eBay. He might even sell you a copy of this. He said he had a couple extra copies, so if you want to hunt this down, hit him up. He'd probably sell it to you. So there's that. That's kind of all I got on this one. It might be a little bit shorter because it's a shorter volume. It's not a graphic novel, and it's not a trade paperback. It is like a magazine format, prestige kind of thing, which is I dig. It makes it hard to fit in short boxes, and it makes it hard to like figure out where to store these things sometimes. But it's cool. I think the format helps. I think the size helps tell the story. Like I said, so. Yeah, that's kind of what I've got as far as the review of that goes. As far as last week's winner, like I said, I don't have the book near me. I don't think. Do I? Maybe? Is it sitting right here? It is sitting here on a pile of comics. So the winner of Umbrella Academy is going to be, look, I pointed in the right direction. One at first time. Brian LCS. Brian, hit me up with your address. Actually, I think we're probably going to be exchanging mystery boxes in the very near future, so I might just throw this in there with it. You might have to wait a little on this one, but I'll get this out to you. And thanks for watching, everybody. Watch next week's. I'll probably give away next week's video. And I do give away a lot of these trades. I think it's a nice way to give back to the community. I think it's a fun way for folks to get some stuff to read that I might love or might not love, but whatever. So, again, just keep watching. I drop these videos on every Tuesday, and you can figure out, you can win a lot of free crap. So, if you want to win some free crap, watch my shit. But yeah, if you want to buy some merchandise and help out, again, it's taylorwinter.com. If not, it's all good. Have a good day, people, and don't be a dick, even if, you worship the God of Tremors. I don't know, it's an awkward ending, but that's what I've got today. See ya.